Hello, and for anyone just joining, I think we have a butterfly that is going to be eclosing here any moment. Hopefully not a false alarm, but if you notice the one on the left, I'm going to get as close as I can without being intrusive here. Let me see if I can zoom in. This one here, you can kind of see the orange wings from the butterfly in there. I don't want to get any closer and disrupt the process. Obviously, that's not the goal. So I am a decent distance away and trying to zoom in with my phone. But when the chrysalis gets basically black, a lot of people who don't know the process think that that's a bad thing, and they think that the butterfly is actually dead inside. But the chrysalis itself is not black. It's actually clear. So what we're seeing that looks black is mostly part of the butterfly. That chrysalis has now become basically paper thin and transparent. So inside, and like I said, I don't know how good that actually looks in there, but inside you can see the orange from the wings, and soon enough it'll start to pop out of the very bottom of there. And I think we are very close. It's definitely, I've been keeping a really close watch on it this morning, and just in the last couple of minutes here, something looked very, very different. So again, I hope I'm not jumping the gun on the live here. I think it's time. If it doesn't happen in a minute or two, then I'll probably go ahead and shut down the live and restart later, but I think we're going to catch it. And then, of course, there is this one, too, that looks just about as ready. So that will probably be after this. And to compare, actually, while we're waiting, if you look back there, that's the green that they usually are when they're still developing. But even in that one, you can start to see a little bit of the butterfly within it. So that's the difference. And the difference between these two here and that one and a couple others I have in here is probably just about a day or two's difference. So a lot changes in a day. So be patient with me, and again, obviously I'm not the caterpillar or butterfly. I'm not in there. I don't know what's happening. I can just guess after watching this so many times and noticing the subtle little changes before it comes. So I think we're going to have a butterfly here in just a moment. It takes about 6 to 8 minutes usually from the time that the butterfly starts to come out until it is fully emerged. So bear with me. Patience, patience. Hi, Linda. So glad to see you here. I was hoping I could catch this. It usually happens so early in the morning, and I'm not an early bird, so I wasn't sure. But yeah, it looks like these are going to be midday butterflies. And for anyone who is just tuning in, yes, we are waiting for a butterfly to emerge out of its chrysalis. Should be any time now. It's definitely getting very close. And actually, I'm trying to get around the back here. If you can see, I don't know how well it's coming out on the video, but there's a little tiny split right at the bottom that was not there 5 minutes ago. So this butterfly is working. And for anyone who may be new to the channel, yes, I do typically cover the eagles, but I also have been sharing a lot of coverage lately on butterflies. And the garden that we have here, that is a bird and butterfly garden. So these were caterpillars that were in our garden, and when they form the chrysalises or chrysalides, I tend to bring them in because we have a lot of predators in our garden. The lizards, the birds, wasps, cats, raccoons, possums, you name it. We get all sorts of things through here. And the way I see it, I get probably anywhere from 2 to 3 dozen caterpillars at a time. And a great deal of them don't make it. But if they do get to the chrysalis form, I kind of feel compelled to protect them and help. So I bring them into a butterfly mesh enclosure and I keep them protected in a Florida room. I don't bring them inside. It's not wise to bring them inside because of not just temperature, but even our life patterns. They need to get used to sun and moon, night and day. They don't need to be around all the chemicals that we have in our home. No matter what you do in your home, there's chemicals, there's cleaners, there's things, and that's just not good for them. So I keep them out in the Florida room, which is pretty much an outdoor type of space, but safe. So that's what we're doing now. We have 6 of them currently in here. 2 are probably going to eclose today. Eclose is the term for basically what a lot of people say is hatching, but you hatch from an egg, you don't hatch from a chrysalis, you eclose. So that's the actual term if you're new to this. And another interesting thing while we're just sitting here waiting for the big moment, if you can tell, and you might see it better on this one, I don't know, up near the top you see the little gold dots. Those will be on every chrysalis, and actually a really, really cool thing about that I was all excited to learn, those are breathing holes. So that's how the caterpillar breathes when it's in the chrysalis. The air passes through those tiny little gold dots at the top. And again, do not lecture me. I'm not squeezing in on their space. I'm a good distance away and just zoomed in pretty tightly. So that's why the picture may not be as clear either. But again, definitely trying to not be disruptive during this. They got a big job to do, and the last thing they need is the paparazzi making it more difficult. And I'm just curious from anyone who is in chat, Linda, you're always good about communicating. Can you actually see the orange through the video there? I can't tell. The video, the visual I'm getting is not very clear. So I'm curious if you can see the orange from the wings there. Okay, a little bit. Yeah, I'm trying to get the angle right. I don't have a whole lot of light in here, and the windows that I have are kind of tinted. And so definitely trying to figure out the best way to capture this. So yeah, from where I'm viewing it, I can see the orange pretty clear, and even the black, like, veiny lines on the wings, and even a couple little white dots. I know, this really is such a neat process to watch. I have trouble with patience, so I definitely get a little weird about this process. It's like I want to see it hurry up and happen, and I don't know how to sit still and wait on things. It's kind of odd that I'm a bird watcher, considering that I just don't know how to sit and patiently wait for things to happen, but I certainly try. The problem is, and I heard this before and it's very true, the second that you walk away or even blink, that's when everything happens. So I'm slowly using this to train myself to learn to be more patient. I think something just happened there. It's definitely widening some down at the bottom. I wish I knew a few good butterfly jokes to share to pass the time. I don't even know good jokes, period, let alone butterfly jokes. Something just happened there. Yeah, it's definitely got a little bit of wiggle going on now. Whoa. Let's see if I can get in over here a little bit. So we can see just a little bit from behind. I don't know how clear that is in there, but that bottom part is definitely starting to split and open up. Yeah, the color is definitely coming through a little better now. Oh yeah, this one's getting close. The changes are so subtle, and I don't know how much it really comes through in video. I'm actually sitting pretty close and wearing my glasses so that I can notice every little detail and every little twitch. And that bottom part has gotten so much wider and clearer in just the last couple of minutes. Let's see how much I can wiggle around here. There's that. Up a little bit more. Bear with me, I'm just kind of trying to open the enclosure area a little bit more so my phone's wiggling now. Okay, that's better. There we go. Wow, I can't believe just how much it has changed already just in the last couple of minutes here. Very, very clear, very, very close. So yes, the white spots, yeah, the white spots are the spots from the butterfly. The little gold dots up at the very top, woo, my bad, sorry. The little gold dots up at the very top are the breathing holes, and the white dots that you see kind of inside are the butterfly spots. So yeah, all that's really starting to become more and more visible, like every second. And like, for example, up at the top, I can see the white dots real clearly. They look kind of shadowed a little bit when I'm looking at the camera here, but it's a bit clearer and a little bit, like I said, more transparent in person. So we've got that one and this one probably e-closing today. And then we have, just to give a quick tour while we wait, we have this one. And again, this one you can already see some of that color in there. That'll probably be another day or two, I would think. Then we have in the back, that one would be next. This one down here, probably a few days after that. And then I have one here that was quite a late bloomer. So that'll probably be a week or so from now. Now, since we are working with Christmas butterflies, of course, we have to have appropriate names. I do have some names in mind for male, female, unisex, and this time I think it'll be fun to get some input though on names. So if you are watching and you want to share some ideas, I'd be thrilled to throw them into the batch. Any names that I get, I will add to the list of the ones I've already thought of, and maybe we'll just do a quick vote on the channel to try to see which names win. But we do have 6, and again, at this point, we obviously don't know male, female, or what. But if you have name ideas, feel free to submit them in comments, and I will happily keep them in mind. And once we get some butterflies going, I'll make a post on the channel with whatever names seem best, and you guys can help me decide this time before we release. Oh, wow. Okay, now I actually saw a little touch of movement in there, and the orange just got very close and vibrant. Ooh, I like Clarice. Linda, that's a good one. I can't believe I didn't think of that. That's a real good one. I like that. Gosh, that image is actually becoming a lot clearer and more vibrant even on the video now. Oh my goodness, you're right. You know, anything Rudolph oriented definitely gets my attention. I'm a huge fan of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That was my mom's favorite Christmas cartoon, and so of course that stuck with me. So yeah, I don't think actually Rudy or Rudolph are one of the names I did have set aside. But I don't know why I didn't think about anyone else in Rudolph. So yes, thank you, Linda. I think those are fantastic suggestions. Oh. Okay. It's getting ready. And the neighborhood blue jay is coming by to celebrate, so yeah, you may hear him. Oh, goodness. Yeah, this blue jay that has been coming around again is extremely chatty and usually comes screaming into the bird feeders. I was sitting out with the cat the day before yesterday and actually videoing the doves at the feeders, and there were doves coming to and fro everywhere, and I did not even notice that a blue jay had come in among them until I heard it scream. So yeah, they are definitely very vocal. And it works because all that racket seems to be scaring the doves away. I don't know if this is something that you can see on the video. I can barely notice it when I really squeeze in, like I said, I'm wearing my glasses. But over on the very bottom left, just underneath the leaf there, it's actually, the transparency is a little bit more evident there because the butterfly is starting to kind of separate from the wall of the chrysalis over there. So that's very clear. And you can almost see, not an indentation, but it just looks a little different. Let me see if I can kind of show where I'm talking about, like right there. It's still so wild to me, even though I know a butterfly is small, but they seem so much bigger than these chrysalises do. It's amazing to think of them all wrapped up in there the way they are. Oh, the blue jays with their hawk cry, I know. And I was so freaked out for a while. I don't know how many saw this post, but not too long ago, I was sitting in my dining room area where I watch the birds inside. And I have the bird feeders are just outside the window there. So I was sitting at the dining room and watching all my doves, and there must have been a dozen of them out there on the feeders. They were very happy. And then all of a sudden, this thing that looked like a football just comes flying through the feeding area, and birds just scattered everywhere. And it hit me after I processed it that, yeah, that was a hawk. We do get hawks in this neighborhood from time to time, and that's always a concern. But yeah, they tend to not make the noise when they come through. There was no warning for those poor birds. I don't believe that the hawk got any of my birds, but it definitely came close. And yeah, I think the blue jay knows that that hawk sound is a powerful one. So I think that's probably the first sound they learn to make, is mimic a hawk so you sound real big and scary. see if I can check out another view here. Try to get a view from the back side. I don't want to... The thing that they're on actually does turn around, but I'm trying not to move that around and disrupt them. But I am trying to get a little bit of a view from the different little angles, sort of. Oh, that's good. Yeah, you can actually see the black veins in the wing pretty good there, and the white dots. Ooh, that was a little wiggle. Now, see, Linda, this is why we need some sort of like audio comment section. This way, maybe I could talk you into singing this for the butterfly and luring it out. And before anyone asks, no, I'm not going to start singing A Whole New World or anything, but you know, maybe it would help. Yeah, it's definitely, the veins and the dots are so much more visible now. There's hardly any thickness to the chrysalis at this point. Because I've seen them just after, and it really is like paper thin to say the very least. So, and I guess it just continues to thin out as they're in there growing. So yeah. And I do consider myself quite lucky, I have to say, with all the butterflies that we have released this year, not a single one seemed to have any sort of incident or problem either eclosing or flying away. And I will mention in that Facebook group that I'm in, the How to Raise Monarchs butterfly group, which is a great group and I highly recommend it. There are sometimes some horror stories from people about things going wrong with the chrysalis, things going wrong with the butterfly. So every time I do get a little bit nervous, because I figure it's just a matter of time before I have some sort of a tragedy on my hands as well. But I've been very fortunate. The closest call I had was actually the last batch that eclosed. One of them, when they first come out, they kind of grab on to the chrysalis and they then try to find somewhere to hang while their wings dry. And if they fall during that process before the wings dry, it can deform their wings. So this particular butterfly had just eclosed, and it was in there with another butterfly that was very close, and they kind of collided, and the one was already dry and able to move around, but the other one had literally just come out of the chrysalis and it fell to the bottom of the enclosure. And I instantly hit panic mode thinking, oh my goodness, the wings are going to be crumpled and it's going to be deformed and it will never fly. But I actually stuck a little leaf near where it was and just kind of tapped on it just enough to where it was able to right itself and climb back up the mesh enclosure and hang to dry. So I think that was probably the closest call that I've had so far. And I'm glad that I was right there when it happened. I don't know if the butterfly could have gotten up without any assistance. I mean, I'd like to think it could have. But so far, no problems. Everyone's come out beautifully, and there have been no issues with any of the releases. So we've been lucky, but I do want to say, just in case, since this is live and not edited like the previous ones that I've shown, no, we don't know 100% what's going to happen. We can see that that caterpillar has formed into a butterfly. That's obvious just by looking at it. But we don't know 100% when it comes out if it will be absolutely perfect or if it will have some sort of deformities, and we can't predict the future enough to see or to say, you know, what's going to happen. But So far, so good, no problems, and I haven't noticed any problems with the chrysalides, so I'm optimistic. Yeah, you can see ever the slightest movement going on in there, the tiniest little twitches here and there. I know with our eaglets, we've explored that process before. You know, everybody kind of knows the way the hatching goes, and the eaglet spins and spins in there and works its way out, and it's quite a process, and it can take a long time. I don't know exactly what all goes on in there when the butterfly is this close, but definitely it's kind of working. That little jump was not the butterfly. That was what happens when the door closes here in the Florida room. So that last big twitch was not the butterfly moving. But the ones before that were. So yeah, it's working in there. And a quick diversion for those of you who have been following the other new edition. There's Waylon, the new kitty. So he hangs out and keeps us company during all this as well. I actually have been going most of the morning back and forth between the butterflies and Waylon because he likes the attention, and every time that I come in here to look at the butterflies, he's been standing on the porch and crying about it. So I've been going back and forth. Critters everywhere. Yes, actually, Waylon is doing wonderfully today. He got himself a flea collar. He got a couple of toys. He got a fancy new bed. Waylon is definitely having himself a nice day. Sorry about all that door action there. The other kitty. Yes, that is Kane. And Kane is still here. Kane is living his best life with my daughter and son-in-law. They did get him neutered, and he was checked out by the vet. He did actually have hookworms. Yeah, hookworms. So they dealt with that before they neutered him. And yeah, he is like a pig in slop. He's very, very happy cat, very well taken care of, loving his digs, and he has a wonderful little guinea pig roommate. So Kane is a very happy kitty. And actually, I think his middle name is Milton, so he definitely was named after the situation. And yes, for those who don't know, we're talking about the cat that we discovered in our yard just before Hurricane Milton hit. So We brought him in, and yes, he is now Kane Milton. So yes, for those keeping track, that is 9 indoor cats and an outdoor cat at this point. Not to mention the cockatoo and the turtle and the guinea pig. And, you know, all I can say is, thank goodness the butterflies are temporary. I'm running out of house. Yeah, it's funny with all this cat business, and I had mentioned something about it in a post, but I actually started looking into how you go about opening a cat rescue and rehoming type facility, and how to form the 501c as a nonprofit. And I'm speaking with some of you probably remember me talking about my squirrel rehabber friend Jill out in St. Pete. She was the one who got that direct hit from Hurricane Milton with all of her precious little rehab squirrels and possums. She's doing really well, and actually she's been speaking with me at great length and offering to help out. So whether or not that is something I will do, I don't know, but it is something that I am looking into. I can't think of anything I'd rather do with my life, to be honest, but I know there's an awful lot of T's to cross and I's to dot to make that sort of thing happen and to do it right. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It would probably be a lot better thing than continuing to run Noah's Ark out of my home. So we'll see what comes of that, and of course I'll keep everybody in the loop. But yeah, there's far too many stray cats out there, and I know some are feral and some want to be stray and live best stray, but there are definitely plenty of cats that are just not feral and need homes and need love. Like little Waylon, I bring him food and oftentimes he'll walk away from it and come back to me rubbing on me. He just wants love. If I go sit outside, he'll just come sit underneath me and rub on my leg. Just wants love. You could not find a sweeter cat. And yeah, I think it's a pretty sad and cruel world when we have animals like that out there, that there's someone out there that would love that cat. I can't find that person, but maybe if I did have a bigger reach through having a nonprofit rescue, maybe I could find those people. I can't always be that person. Hi, Sue. I'm so glad to see you made it. Yes, lots and lots of animals. And as I've said a million times, I'm a worrier. So even the ones that obviously are wild and need to stay that way, like some of the birds, yeah, there are times where I'll start to get a little bit nervous saying, goodness, I haven't seen my cardinal in a few days. And then a cardinal will show up, and of course I'm not always sure if it's the same cardinal or a different cardinal, but it makes me feel a little bit better. So I'm definitely the type that worries about all of them. And especially I see so much of the circle of life even out in the garden with the lizards and the caterpillars and the birds and the squirrels, yada yada. I do know for a fact that there are certainly caterpillars that I've had out there that have fallen victim to being prey to one of these animals. And I mean, yes, that upsets me. Everything has to eat, but I kind of wish they wouldn't do it here. So it's hard sometimes understanding the whole circle of life thing. I'm one who does get it, but I'm also one who wants to protect and love everything. Fortunately, it is easy to let the butterflies go, I will say that. See, I guess when I started the live, I thought it was slightly readier than it is. Slightly more ready. But I definitely don't have much better to do with my day. I took the day off work for the holiday, so I do not mind sitting here and waiting with everybody. And again, it's a lesson in patience, which I am trying to improve my patience. Very true, Linda. I do think, and personally, I think there's a lot of people out in the eagle cam world that, or even just wildlife in general, that don't understand that you can have the intelligence and logic and reasoning to understand the circle of life and all of these different things, but there's a balance you got to have between the science of that understanding and the heart. And I think that a lot of people will fall too much to one end of that spectrum or the other. You do have to have some of the science and logic to accept these things, but you have to have the heart. You can't leave the heart behind. I know even with the whole thing with Appalachian Bear Rescue that we were talking about on the channel, TWRA, when they were talking, they said that they like to work with facilities that are science driven. And I understand that statement, but I don't fully agree. I do think that these facilities and organizations should be science driven, and I do think that they should have intelligent, educated people who understand the science of the wildlife world. But I think if they're not balanced out with compassion, then they're not really doing much of a service. Thank you for stopping by, Sue, and yeah, I'm gonna be a trooper and hang out for this whole thing, so I will store the live later on afterward, so feel free to come back later on tonight and see the conclusion of hopefully a perfect butterfly eclosure. I'm toying with the shades and the placement of some stuff in here just a little bit, so bear with me while things are shifting around. It is me, it's not them. Maybe that'll work. Something about the chrysalis looks a little different now, and I'm not sure if I can capture it. Goodness, it looks so solid black there. It looks like some of the orange kind of dropped, the orange section sort of dropped down. Ooh, hold on, let me see, what's this? Bear with me while I'm trying to get this in focus here a little bit. I don't know, can you see that? How much that's opening up there? Yeah, this butterfly's coming. I think we're right at about time. I'm gonna prop the camera up and just kind of step back so that my shaky hands don't interfere. But yeah, I think we're about at go time here. Yeah, it does. It has a little bit of a shine to it now. Like I said, the difference is as it goes through this last little stage, it's so subtle. And I don't know if the camera is doing a great job of picking up all the little subtleties. But just over the course of the time that I've been doing this live, which now has been about an hour, it has gotten so much thinner and clearer, and the butterfly has become so much more visible. And yeah, it's definitely enlarging on the bottom. I'm not sure if I am better off being zoomed in or zooming out for a little more clarity. If anyone has any opinions, feel free to say something in chat. I don't know if I'm set up good there, or if you have any thoughts, anybody, just let me know. Oh yeah. Yeah, this one will be here in just a couple of minutes now. It's definitely on its way. Oh yeah. Yeah, and actually for the first time I do have my daughter here with me. She's camera shy, so I'm certainly not going to point the camera at her. But it's very, very cool to be able to share this with my daughter. She's usually at work or I'm at work, so we don't even have a whole lot of time together. We're like ships passing in the night. And we certainly don't tend to collide at the perfect time to watch the butterflies. So yeah, kind of exciting even here that the two of us get to share this, and still very thankful for those of you who are patient enough to stick it out with us. Definitely a cool thing. I gotta tell you, as many of these as I've done now, it never gets old. I just love watching the whole process. Yeah, apparently we've been live now for an hour and 7 minutes. So yeah, I was definitely a little off when I thought we were right there, right there. I actually was so nervous thinking I wouldn't be able to get my phone and get back out here in time. I thought it was happening so quick. But a little premature. My excitement got the best of me. Yeah, and as it thins out, it's just getting shinier and shinier. So those changes right at eclosure time are so subtle, but yeah, it's definitely getting real close.
So like, is the chrysalis like a part of them, or is it like an egg where it's totally separate?
It's not like part of them, they're just in there. So yeah. Now it starts off that way. They shed their skin and it kind of turns into it. Yeah.
Do they eat it like some animals?
Mm-mm. And yeah, my daughter was actually just talking to me about the chrysalis, asking if it was part of the butterfly and if they eat it the way that, as we know, some of the birds will sometimes eat part of the egg or the yolk. The caterpillars, when they initially hatch from the egg, they actually eat the remnants of the egg and such as well too. But in this case with the chrysalis, what the chrysalis actually is basically it's the shed skin of the caterpillar. That's why even when it does emerge and you look at the chrysalis afterward, it actually looks a lot like dried human skin.
It's
if that makes any sense. Yeah, it is. It's almost like it's exfoliating and it lost a layer. So when the caterpillar first goes into there, they shed like this extra layer of skin that protects them. And then all of their organs and all of their parts basically liquefy and kind of put themselves back together in a different form inside the chrysalis. So it really, like I said, it's got to be one of the most amazing things in wildlife, the actual transformation process from the caterpillar to the butterfly. And from different things that I have read from butterfly experts and wildlife biologists that have studied this, they actually do believe, and I don't know, maybe I'm the only one who will find this so interesting, but they actually do believe that butterflies remember being a caterpillar, which, I don't know, like I said, maybe I'm strange, but I find that to be a very interesting little factoid. I gotta wonder sometimes what a butterfly must think when it comes out for the first time. If it remembers being a caterpillar just a couple of weeks before, that's gotta be so cool.
Do you know if they're conscious while they're in there?
Yeah.
They're conscious while they're in there? It's like a night call. Bit. There we go. Absolutely my pleasure, Linda. This is one thing I'm really learning with everyone. Again, I stumbled into this purely by accident. We were literally just setting up a pretty garden for the birds when I found milkweed. And I thought, wow, this is so pretty. I didn't have any familiarity with milkweed. I didn't know what it was. I just liked the way it looked. So I thought it would be a cool addition to the garden. And then one day when I was out checking the garden, I saw caterpillars. And I thought, well, that's a pretty cool development. I wonder why I have so many caterpillars here. And when I went and did some research, I discovered that milkweed is the host plant for monarchs. And what that means is that monarchs will lay their eggs there, and only there. They only lay eggs on milkweed. There's many different types of milkweed, but that is their host plant. So if you have milkweed, you will get caterpillars. And when I saw that development and realized what I had done, I, of course, felt, well, now I have a responsibility. So I started reading and learning and joining Facebook groups and doing everything I could just to try to get some sort of knowledge about this process and these creatures. I've always liked butterflies. They're very, very cool. Special appearance from my daughter. Thank you. But yeah, I never really looked into them before. Certainly didn't plan on raising them. So I'm still learning. There's still a lot I would like to know. And as I gain that knowledge, I'm only too happy to share it with everyone, especially with the recent decision from Fish and Wildlife to consider them a threatened species. Now I feel like I have to share this knowledge and I have to share this interest. If even one other person decides that this is kind of cool and they want to try it, every person helping the monarchs right now is a big deal, in my opinion. So as we learn, sometimes we find a way that we can contribute. And again, I know my contribution is a small one, but I'm proud of it. And I would be very, very proud if anyone else felt inspired enough to try to do the same, certainly. The monarch caterpillars are yellow, white, and black. I actually learned a couple of things very, very cool about them recently. For starters, if you find one that has antenna around its midsection, that's a queen. And that was something that I thought was really cool to learn. The queen butterflies look just like the monarchs. That is the way you tell it apart, really, is that it has an extra set of antenna right around the middle of the caterpillar. Another thing that I learned recently that I thought was kind of cool, I went into panic mode when I was looking at my caterpillars recently because a couple of them, like I said, they have bands of stripes, yellow, white, and black. And a couple of these caterpillars, they had a lot of very thick black stripes. They were probably more black than anything. So I thought, oh goodness, something is definitely wrong with these guys. And I went to that How to Raise Monarch Caterpillars group on Facebook, which again, brilliant, brilliant group run by a very, very smart, good man. They explained that had to do with sun exposure. So I did not realize that the amount of sun that the caterpillars get actually does affect their coloring as well. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, the monarch caterpillar will be yellow, white, and black. There's a cool caterpillar that I used to see growing up in Texas, and I'm not sure what kind of butterfly this becomes. I really should look into it someday. It's like an orange caterpillar with like black spikes coming out of it. I don't know if anybody is familiar with that. Yeah, those, they're neat. And I don't know what kind of butterfly they become, but I'm really curious. Like I said, I saw them all the time growing up in Texas, and yeah, they creeped me out because they look kind of scary with all those spikes on them. But now I'm curious as to what it was I was seeing all those years ago. Definitely when I do find out what those orange caterpillars were, I will definitely share that information. All I know was growing up, I was so fascinated by them, and my grandmother constantly told me, do not touch it, do not touch it. And you know, when you see something spiky and your grandma says don't touch it, you just listen. You know, I'm not totally sure. I think all caterpillars turn into butterflies, but I'm not positive. Or moths, yeah. My daughter just reminded me that too. They would also, moths or caterpillars first. I don't have really much knowledge on the moths, though, but yeah. Yeah, moths do start off as kind of interesting caterpillars. I've seen a few that people share pictures of, and yeah, they generally are fuzzy. They're kind of cool looking. Ooh, purple ones. I don't know if I've seen purple ones. That would be cool. That would get my attention. Purple's my favorite color. I don't even know if I've seen purple butterflies, actually. No, I don't think I don't recall seeing purple butterflies. Yeah, that would be very cool,
There
though.
are some.
Yeah.
I just don't think here. They're like pink moths.
Did not know that.
Yeah, there's some pink moths.
Ooh, that must be so pretty. Now, we lived in Tennessee for quite some time, and I'm kind of ashamed to say I don't guess I was really paying much attention to butterflies at that point. I don't even recall what we really had there then. I remember we had fireflies, and that was extremely cool to me because I grew up with them, but I really haven't seen fireflies in Florida. So living in Tennessee and having fireflies again was really, really cool. I do get the Gulf fritillaries or fritillaries, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. We do get some of those here. I haven't seen their caterpillar versions, so I'm not sure what they look like. Maybe they are the ones. I never thought to even look into that. I will have to check that out. But yeah, I know the ones that I grew up seeing, like I said, they were like a kind of a red-orange with little black spikes, like hairy-looking spikes all around them. And yeah, like I said, at the time I was a kid and Google wasn't a thing, so I certainly wasn't researching it. I just know I was told don't touch it, so I didn't touch it.
The one I saw looked like it had nails sticking out of it.
Ooh.
I told you guys about that. I don't think you guys believed me.
Even now I don't like touching the caterpillars. I feel like they probably don't want us messing with them too much, so even sometimes I'll find a wayward lost caterpillar roaming in the driveway, like away from the garden. I'll go get a little twig from one of the milkweed plants and hold it in front of the caterpillar until it climbs on it, and then carefully carry them back to the garden on the twig. So I try not to even really come into contact with them. Plenty of people do. I'm just one of those who feels like the less you touch it and mess with it, the better. So I try not to mess with them. Yeah, in Texas, I remember there being fireflies all over the place when I was a kid. I do think that their numbers have generally gone down. I actually recently discovered that there is a place near me here in Central Florida. I think it's called the Oakland Nature Preserve, where they have 1 week, I want to say end of summer, but I'm not positive, that they have this big firefly experience. And I was so shocked to see that because all the years I've lived in Florida off and on, I don't ever recall seeing fireflies. But at this nature preserve, they apparently have them. And in true human form, though, humans mess things up. So I saw when they were promoting this big event recently, or this past summer, whenever it was, they had to make a follow-up post basically explaining to people that when you do come here, please don't stomp on the fireflies. And they said that they were going to have to end the event if people couldn't control their kids, because apparently kids were stomping and swatting at fireflies everywhere during this event. So maybe that's why we don't have so many anymore. I'm going to step away for one moment to go inside and grab a drink. I will be right back, leaving the phone set up here. So, of course, once I step away, everything will happen. Be right back. Yeah, when I was a kid, I wanted to catch them, and I always figured they would make cool night lights, but I don't know if I ever had the urge to stomp them. I don't know. I think kids are a little different these days. Yeah, like I said, when I first sat down to start going live, I really thought I was barely even getting here in time. So I came scrambling over, and then I realized, oh goodness, I'm gonna get thirsty. I'm gonna need things. So, yeah. Good time to step away to grab a couple things real quick. just doing this for just a quick moment. I'm using a light to kind of examine things a little bit better. I gotta tell you, that other one in the back might be just as close now. Let me see. Toward the back of that one, let me see if I can get to the right angle. That one is showing a little bit more color now too. So yeah, both of these are like real close. Oops. Bear with me as I fumble through trying to get all this right. There, now you can see a little bit of the, yeah. That one has advanced a lot since we've been sitting here too. Wow, both of these are so close. Let's see, there we go. So yeah, when I have this little light on back here, that really shows just how transparent the chrysalis really is and how vibrant and vivid those wings are. Oh, Linda, I'm so lucky. I don't really have much Christmas to worry about. Um, we have a very sweet neighbor across the street, a lovely older lady who's, unfortunately, she lost her husband last year. She lives in New York half the year, and then half the year she's here. She's here during the winter. Very sweet woman, and we bought her some cookies. We bought a couple of gifts for just a few acquaintances and a few things for my daughter. My daughter is an adult and doesn't get a ton of stuff, and unfortunately, she already pretty much knows most of everything we got her. We don't really do Christmas the way we used to now that the kids are grown. My son moved away to Oregon and doesn't come home for Christmas, so we send him money. Probably what a young man getting their start in life could use more than anything, so that's what we do with him. And my daughter and I, we were actually talking about this recently, we're always just grabbing things for each other when we see them out at the stores, so we don't tend to have the patience to save it up for Christmas. So really, there's not much Christmas prep to do. We took the time off work just to be able to relax a little bit, but we really don't have plans. We didn't do a tree, not with all the cats. I don't think anybody was willing to try to take that on. So yeah, Christmas is kind of blah this year, I hate to say. I was always a very big Christmas person, so it's kind of weird. But yeah, I just can't seem to find a lot of reason to do all the traditional things now, you know, with the kids grown and all. We did go to Disney and check out all their decorations and their trees, so that was nice. But yeah, I think we're kind of not doing a whole heck of a lot. We did make plans for a very nice dinner. My husband actually asked if I wanted anything for Christmas and what I want, and I said, well, if I want something, I just go buy it. So I didn't save up a Christmas list. I told him what I'd rather do is go out. And our wedding anniversary is New Year's Eve as well. So we decided to make reservations for a very nice dinner at Walt Disney World at one of their signature dining experiences that I frankly never thought I would even be able to do. So very excited about that. And we're doing that January 4th. So that's kind of our Christmas, New Year anniversary celebration right there. Hi, Megan. Frankly, these are the only ones that I've gotten in chrysalis, the monarchs. As I was explaining earlier, I bought milkweed not understanding it was the host plant for monarchs. So we just kind of stumbled into it. I don't really know what all the different host plants are for other butterflies. The information is out there. I haven't looked into it, and I frankly don't know if I want to have a ton of different kinds of caterpillars and butterflies. So I'm sticking with the monarchs because that's where I went. But yeah, I'm kind of curious about some of the others as well. I'm also wondering, I heard recently that there is a particular moth that their chrysalis is pink. And I don't know, maybe I just, was kind of naive, but I just assumed that all chrysalides are the same color and that kind of green color. But apparently there is a moth that makes a pink chrysalis, and I'd be curious to know if chrysalises are really all different colors, if it matters on the species. I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't possibly do a tree. I've had Christmas trees in the past with animals because I've pretty much always had animals. But like I said, 9 cats, and they're crazy. I mean, they're really, really crazy. I can't express to you the stuff that these cats do sometimes. More than a few times I've been woken up by giant crashes in the middle of the night, go to find out that there was some sort of a cat party in the kitchen, and there's broken things all over the place. So yeah, I was not going to try to put a Christmas tree in the middle of all that. We have a tiny little pre-lit tree that we put out in the garden. We felt like that was probably safer with the wild animals than with our cats. So yeah, that's what we've got. Oh, passion vines, that's right. I do remember hearing about that. And that's a very pretty, pretty plant too, the passion vines. Maybe that's something I'll have to add. We have a whole other section of the garden that we're still working toward doing. It has a lot of good space, a little square planter type thing, a big square planter actually, and an oak tree. So I've been trying to think of what we're going to do over there, what we're going to plant, what we're going to, create. We're going to center some things around the oak tree, like the squirrel feeding section that I know I showed before, the little nut bar, that's cute. And we're talking about putting like fairy doors and a face on the oak tree. So we're going to decorate the tree up a bit. But I don't know what we're going to plant on that side of the yard yet. So we're still thinking about that, and we'll see what happens. We've pretty much kept to a rather tropical-ish kind of setup. So we'll see. But I'm certainly open to any suggestions for plants that would do well down here, especially if they are pollinator friendly or bird friendly. We have the hummingbird station set up outside, so I want to get some of those kind of trumpeting vines that the hummingbirds like as well to try to help lure them. Maybe that's what they're up to out there, Megan. I don't know. Yeah, sometimes I do. I come out there and I see what is on the floor smashed into pieces, and I know where it came from, and I just look at the cats sitting there looking innocent. It's like, how did you even do this? What were you doing that led to this? You gotta wonder. Cat acrobatics. And take another look with my handy dandy light here. Just a secondary cell phone using the little flashlight feature to get a little bit better look, especially now that the sun's just starting to consider going down. The views aren't going to stay very good. So yeah, that one is paper thin at this point. Yeah, oddly enough, even with all my cats, I don't have cats that tend to go too awful nuts at night. The ones that, we keep our cats kind of separated in little clustered groups based on how they get along. And the group that stays in the main part of the house at night, it's 3 boys out there, and they get a little bit nutty sometimes, but it's play. They sleep during the day. And then the ones that come to the bedroom with me at night, it's 2 boys and 2 girls. And they're all very tired at night. Thank goodness they don't go crazy in the room. In fact, one of them pretty much dictates my bedtime, and he doesn't like to go to sleep late, but he won't go to sleep without me. So, yeah, most of my cats are night sleepers, but the ones who rule the main part of the house at night, they definitely get up to some nonsense.
Hi. Oh, thank you. You're the best.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. I don't want. Whoops.
No problem.
It's always the heavy stuff.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm just. I always put it inside though for you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we have very good Amazon delivery drivers here. So everybody, if you are getting deliveries from Amazon, especially now, be very nice. These people work way too hard.
I know. It's been a long one. I'm off tomorrow though. Yes.
Congratulations.
We still are open, but
You deserve it.
I know,
Especially
right?
after something like this.
I know. I like to do all the heavy stuff early. So, well, it's not early, but before I get too
so
tired.
much.
You have a good holiday.
You too. Don't work too hard. Yeah, just so you know, this is what this poor Amazon driver just had to carry in here. So, yes, like I said, be nice to your Amazon drivers. Especially if you're like me and you're ordering lots of big stuff. Oh, Waylon's back. Yeah, from the 9, and I guess if you count Waylon, the 10 cats that we have, 2 are female, and the rest are males. So, yeah, lots of men in my home.
One's an eternal baby.
Yes, one of them is actually an eternal baby. The 4th cat we got was a female, and she was pregnant, and she had the 4 babies here in the house. One of them, well, 2 of them were kind of wrapped up in the umbilical cord, one around the neck and one around the legs. And that was obviously not something I anticipated. And it was panic. It was absolute, I freaked out. And my husband was trying to help me hold them, and he's like, okay, we're going to have to cut them free, because the baby with the one around the neck, he was having trouble breathing. And the one with the umbilical cord wrapped around his legs, the legs were turning purple. So there was no time to even get to a vet. There was no time to do anything. I had to cut them. And I don't think I've ever been so scared of anything in my life when those 2 wiggling babies were sitting there with the umbilical cord wrapped up tightly against them. And I had to be the one to go clip that and not hurt them. So that was pretty intense. But all 4 of the babies ended up doing very well. We still have them now, 2 years later. But yes, there's one who is the Peter Pan. That's spooky, and he's special in every kind of way. He's got the 2 different color eyes, and he's just got a very different personality than the rest of them. He's so much smaller, he's so spunky, and he still snuggles with Mama. So it's adorable. The eternal baby. Oh, Linda, the fresh cut Christmas trees. We did that one year when we lived in Tennessee. In fact, we went to a Christmas tree farm and cut down our own. Yeah, I was probably inspired by Christmas Vacation. Our experience wasn't quite that, Griswoldy, but it was fun. It was nice, and probably the nicest tree I think we've ever had. That was a beautiful tree, and that was a really fun experience. I think Everyone should do that at least once. Go cut down their own tree. That's so cool. Now Waylon's getting brushed. Had to share that, sorry. Back to the back to the action at hand. Forgive all the noise. There's a little activity going on in here at the moment. Yeah, unfortunately, even though we have 3 big, heavy, giant boxes delivered, it wasn't all that much fun. We got like bird seed, cat litter, I think some energy drinks. Hi, Waylon. I never got into the Monster energy drinks. That's what my husband drinks. He drinks like the Mocha Loca and the Mean Bean, and I can't do Monster. I don't like Monster. I also don't like coffee, oddly enough. So I guess none of that would resonate with me. I drank I think it was a purple Monster energy drink, and then the original one back when they first came out with that. No, didn't work for me. But I do like C4. The C4 energy drinks, they have like candy ones. Skittles, Starburst, Jolly Rancher. Oh my goodness, if you're a candy freak, those are dangerous. Yeah, those are getting totally easy to see now. Yeah, that is undoubtedly a butterfly in there. Yeah, the energy drink with the candy flavors, that's C4. Definitely look into it, but yeah, it's dangerous. Those are so, so good. I think they also, yeah, they have popsicle flavors too. So that's kind of interesting. If you like those old-fashioned, like red, purple, orange, and what are they? Red, purple, orange, and green usually are the popsicle. Yeah, I think it's popsicle brand, in fact. Those are the ones they make. Very sweet, very good. Let's try to see if I can position this here. See if I can get that to kind of stay up some. There's good. That's a kind of good place. Yes. I have to say, I know I'm strange, but I am so envious of everyone up north. Even with all the snow, and I actually said this to a few people who were up there, and I think they got a little offended. But no, I'm jealous. I admire that. I love the cold weather. I love the snow. It has been a little more tolerable in Florida. Obviously warm enough for us to keep getting monarchs. But yeah, I miss cooler weather. I miss snow. Actually, ooh. I'll take a moment and see. That's kind of cool. If I can put this in the right place there. Hold on, bear with me. Yeah, this one. That one is still a little bit of a ways off, but you can actually see the start of the wings there starting to get a little visible. Over on the right-hand side, you can see a little bit of the striping of the wings. So that one's getting close. Probably within I'd say a couple of days for that one. And then those ones back there, I think that one up top will probably be the next after the two we have ready. Let's say that one's the next closest one, with this one probably being right after. Then I would say that one back there, and then this tiny new one here will probably be the last. Yeah, these two, like I said, they're ridiculously close. So yes, in the wild, if you ever do see a black chrysalis, I've actually heard some people say before, oh, well, I saw that and I destroyed it because I thought it was something bad. And no, if you see what looks like a black chrysalis, it's probably just ready to, release a butterfly. So don't go destroying them, smashing them, leave them be. Another thing that's very, very cool about the chrysalides at this point, I don't know how much of you could see it, but they're so sparkly. Those little golden air holes at the top and the other little golden flecks throughout. Very, very sparkly. Mischievous? No, not quite. That goofy sound you keep hearing is the hubby got a little horn for a bicycle. So he's having fun with this little horn. He plans to be the interesting little old man on the bike, I guess. Oh, I just got the look. Yeah, it's an interesting day. We're all pretty much here hanging out with butterflies and cats and doing our thing, and it's been a fun day around here. I actually had nothing more planned for today other than crocheting and capturing some eagle content, but then I got distracted by the butterflies. So yeah, I'm a little bit off the eagle game today. I do know we have a pip at Captiva. I have not looked back in since I saw that. I don't think there's been a hatch yet. I'm gonna have to get back to all that tonight. So who needs sleep, right? Butterflies and eagles and cats, that's all we need. Yeah, you're probably hearing the bike horn and then me trying to stifle my giggle. Because every time he does it, I chuckle like a little child. So I keep trying to muffle that a little bit. Yes, I saw probably about maybe 3 hours ago, I saw a post that there was a pip at Captiva. So, no, I certainly don't think we have a hatch yet. But yes, I would think probably by tomorrow we'll have a fresh new baby eaglet at the Captiva nest. And hopefully another one very soon after. I don't know who was next. Was it Dade, Rose and Ron? I think they're next. Yeah, and then NEFL, and then John Bunker Sands. Those are the only eggs we have so far from the nest that I monitor. And of course, we don't know what's going on with NEFL yet, so good to know that things are moving at Captiva, though. And of course, the babies at Southwest Florida are looking great last time I checked. Again, I've been a little disconnected today. So if anything crazy has happened in Eagle Land today other than the pip at Captiva and the mystery of Gabby, I'm not yet aware of it. Yeah, I know with Ron and Rose, they've had some problems keeping the stream up. I think last I checked, they had said that the side cam would probably be down for the rest of the season. Which, that kind of stinks. The side cam is the one that I'm used to and the one that I prefer. But the top cam is really, really good when they have the little babies. So that'll be a good thing, as long as they can keep that up. Eagle Country, I don't know. I think last year, Abby and Blaze had already laid eggs by now, I believe. Again, I'm not on my computer, so I don't have my notes, and I certainly don't have the recall of all the different dates. But I think Abby and Blaze were early to mid-December last year. They started laying eggs. Now, of course, this year we have a new female, and we don't know anything about if she's had young before or what her patterns may have been, talking about Sky. But I know that she and Blaze have mated, so we could be seeing eggs at Eagle Country very soon, I would think, I would hope. Would definitely like to see eggs there this season, even though I am greatly, greatly missing Abby. It's certainly not the most common thing to have butterflies eclosing at night, so this is definitely a little different. But no, I would be shocked if they lasted until morning, so I think they are coming out tonight. It's just a matter of when. I'm actually really surprised they haven't yet. But yeah, definitely a little odd to see them eclosing at night. I know that this is not necessarily standard to the other experiences I've had either, because again, this is the first time I've done this when it's been, I don't want to say cold, but by Florida standards, a little colder. So usually the other chrysalides that I've had, the butterflies have eclosed at about 8 days. And now these are going on, actually the two we're looking at here today that are ready, they're 15 days. So I know the weather does dramatically affect that, the temperature. And the warmer that it is, the faster the whole process goes. And this is my first time going through this with slightly cooler temperatures. So still a little different than the previous experiences. Abby was younger. I'm sorry. The hubby just took the bike for a ride and he's honking down the street, so I had to chuckle again. Abby is definitely younger. I don't recall offhand. I want to say she was maybe 7 or 8. So she's a younger eagle. I can't make a whole heck of a lot of sense out of where she could be or why she would have left the nest, other than a territorial battle. I don't want to jump to that assumption and just decide that was it, but that's all I've personally really thought of that would make sense. Abby was definitely established, and I don't think she was the type who would just abandon nest for no reason. And she was there, they said the last time that they saw her was late summer, so it wasn't the hurricanes, Milton or Helene. She was missing before that. So yeah, I kind of wonder if maybe Sky decided to challenge her, and Sky won. I'm wondering the same thing, of course, about Claire at the U.S. Steel Nest. Another one that I don't think would have just chosen to take off. I think it's quite possible, considering how quickly there was a new mate, it's quite possible she was run off. But again, we don't know. Yeah, I definitely share everyone's concerns about Gabby. A- Again, I've seen much more concerning things. She is looking healthy. As long as it's strictly behavioral at this point, I think we're doing okay. I know a lot of people are comparing the Gabby situation right now to Anna and Andrea. I get it. I understand why a lot of people are going to that, but Anna and Andrea were showing signs of illness. We saw the kind of the runniness on the beak around the nose area. Excuse me. The nares, they were stuffy. They looked very foggy and then ended up having the seizures. There was a lot of instability. It was pretty obvious with Anna and Andrea that they were quite ill, and it all happened really rapidly. So I'm still very optimistic that we're not dealing with that with Gabby. I hope. But no, I haven't seen a good, solid message from anyone that indicates why they think this is happening. Again, just a lot of speculation. The things that I've personally seen people say that make the most sense are that it's something hormonal, or I've seen a couple of people mention in their chat and in my comments that they think it's possible Abby hurt herself, like strained a muscle in the leg, and that maybe she's having trouble sitting or laying on the eggs. That kind of makes sense too, because she does go to the eggs, she looks at them, she checks them. There is some level of interest, but she does not actually lay down to incubate on them. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, the good thing is it's very, very good that she's flying. It's very good that she is catching her own food. It's very good that she's eating and showing up with the full crop. This is all really good. If an animal is sick, one of the first things that they do is stop eating. So that's all very, very good stuff. But it's certainly extremely curious, her behavior this weekend. So I don't know. I mean, again, all we can do is wait and hope and watch, and I don't know, be patient with her. It's very odd. Definitely odd. But like I said, very good that we're not seeing signs of actual illness. I don't know if she's been back to the nest today. I think this morning they reported seeing her at a nearby tree roosting, but not on camera. And that was the last I heard, so I don't really know what the status is right now, and I don't want to try to guess, but that was the last I heard, was that she was seen nearby roosting. Oh, I hadn't heard anybody mention that yet, but yeah, some people were talking a lot about her leg. I hadn't heard about swollen, and I really hadn't noticed. I'm not always very good at spotting things like that. But a lot of people were mentioning how she looked to have something going on with her leg. So again, I don't know. I mean, I can tell you that her color, her beak and her talons, they look good. Again, full crop, her feathers, she looks good. So I'm really, really hoping it's nothing serious. She is still a pretty young eagle, about 10 years old, I think. So, yeah. Huh. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I'll admit I have not been paying incredible attention to the nest. I've been popping in from time to time, but again, watching a lot of nests. There's always all sorts of activity. So sometimes I tend to miss some of the, I want to say, more subtle things, or, yeah, just quick momentary things when I scan by. So yeah, I hadn't noticed that about her leg, but I'm gonna have to go check that out too. I know yesterday, like I said, when she came in, I think it was the second time, I believe, yesterday, she came in with food, both times. And I didn't catch the first, but I heard that she mantled. A lot of people were talking about how she seemed to be kind of in defensive mode around Bo, even. I don't know. I mean, I guess if she's bringing in food and doesn't want him to have it, mantling it and acting a little defensive is not totally unusual. But a lot of people seem to think that that was a sign of something. So, I don't know. Again, there's just so many questions there, so many curiosities. Thrilled about Bo, though. Like I said, I cannot praise him enough. He has really turned into an incredible, incredible mate for her.
Which is from
Yeah, I didn't notice the food she brought in either, but I saw people talking about it. And so, just kind of going off of what I saw in chat, I do rely on others at times, those who do really watch a particular nest like nonstop, or even those with just better eyes. I certainly am capable of missing things, whether it is because I scanned so many nests or just because I missed it. But yeah, I saw people talking about how she had brought in food, and I did notice her mantle over something, so I assumed that to be accurate, but I don't know. Oh, really? So she came back and she is incubating now. That's excellent. That's really, really, really good news. If you happen to see them mention, or if you know, when she came back or how long she's been incubating. I'm curious. I know they said on a Saturday, I think she incubated a total of like 40 minutes, and I don't think anything yesterday. So I would personally feel pretty good seeing her go a nice long span incubating the eggs. I really do hope that maybe it was just, I mean, I know they're eagles, they're not people, and we shouldn't make the direct comparison, but it stands to reason that, you know what? They can just have some off moments. They can have an illness that maybe is not critical or lethal or anything dramatic. Maybe she just wasn't feeling well. Maybe she was in a mood. Whether they're eagles or what, I do believe that those kinds of things can certainly happen. I mean, any animal or any living creature can have all sorts of things that get to them. So I've been hoping this whole time it was just a momentary, temporary thing that she could bounce back from. And hopefully that's accurate. And hopefully we'll see a turnaround pretty quick. Like I said, the fact that she hasn't shown any outward physical signs of being sick is a really, really good thing. Huh, okay. Well, thank you, Megan. I appreciate that update. Like I said, I haven't been able to keep up as well today between cats and butterflies. So I'm a little out of the loop. I'll play catch up tonight. Considering that I am off work for a few days, I am probably pulling some late nights catching up on Eagle stuff and doing other things I need to do. Again, I'm almost always either watching the Eagles or crocheting something or so yeah, I have a lot of personal catch up to do, and I'll probably do a lot of that late at night and see what's been going on in the nests. So I appreciate the update in between since I haven't really been able to be there. Yes, Linda, Gabby can be moody. I'll tell you though, boy, she has nothing on Bella. That's the other thing. I know whenever there's any sort of questionable situation at a nest, I kind of feel obligated to find out what's going on to help share the information with people who watch this channel. And since so many updates are posted on Facebook, and I know for a fact a lot of my viewers do not have Facebook, they feel kind of out of the loop. Me personally, there's a part of me that gets a little nervous clicking into a cam when I know there is something actively going on. And that's for two reasons. One, I don't like the big, bad, dramatic tragedies, of course. I'm someone who is particularly upset by them. And the second thing is just the drama that swirls around these situations in chat and with mods. A lot of mods, at most of the camps, frankly, are not as patient as I think they could be. Not as understanding and not as good at dealing with maybe newbies, people who are either not that familiar with that nest and those eagles, or seeing an unusual situation for the first time. And I get it. I can only imagine how frustrating it must be for some of these mods to answer the same question every 5 minutes. I can understand. I've seen, frankly, some questions that many Eagle Cam viewers would find to be possibly, and I hate to say it, but a stupid question. But then I found out that the person asking that question was very young, like a child, or someone who was just tuning in for the very first time, and this was all new to them. And I think that every single day, if you're running a stream like those, you run the risk of extremely new people with absolutely zero knowledge popping in. And I believe from everything that I have seen and heard these people talk about, that these cams are primarily there for an educational purpose. So even if people do come in with questions that some of us might find as, again, I hate to say stupid question, but I don't know the better way to word it right now. Or even if someone comes in and asks a question that, yes, has been asked a dozen times, I think it warrants an answer, and an answer with a little bit of respect. And a lot of mods are not that patient, especially when there is drama going on, and they are much more concerned with trying to stop the rumors. And again, I get that. As the rumors spread, you have oftentimes people with limited knowledge saying something as if it is an absolute fact. And the bottom line is, even with the mods, no one should be saying something is an absolute fact. We don't know. Almost all of this is a great big unknown, and anyone who tries to say different is rather ignorant and trying to sound otherwise. But yeah, it's tough when there's something going on, and I don't like seeing some of the stuff that goes on in chat. Anyone who's followed this channel for a long time knows that I can be rather defensive of, all the viewers. And all too often I will be watching a cam and I'll see mods belittling people or speaking in a condescending or nasty or rude way. I mean, I've seen people ask innocent questions and get answers like, "Don't you have Google?" Yeah, we all have Google. And if you want to know how old Gabby is, you can do some internet research and find that out. If you want to know how long an eagle incubates, you can go to Google and find that out. But if a cam stream has chat and has mods, and especially presents themselves as an educational resource, they should be ready for all those questions. And they should be willing to answer them with patience and respect. And I'm certainly not going to say that all the cam mods are bad, but there are a lot of bad apples out there. I don't know how many pay attention, but no, I don't speak in the chats. Very, very rarely. I'll be there, and I certainly observe, and it gets hard when I see people being spoken down to or belittled. It's very hard for me to not jump in on the conversation and try to defend that person. When I see people saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry that I asked a question," or "I really want to ask a question, but I'm scared. I don't want to get you mad." That's not the kind of environment that it should be. And it really does make me upset. No one should feel when they're watching one of these streams that they can't ask a question, or that they're going to get insulted or belittled or buzzed or banned or whatever just for speaking. And there are too many cams out there where I pop in and regularly see people apologizing for talking or asking if they can. That's just not cool. There should not ever be an instance where that's the case. It certainly shouldn't be the norm. So, yeah, just my little soapbox moment. Anyone who's followed for a while, I get very opinionated about those kinds of things. And yes, the dramas and the tragedies really do bring out the worst in many people, viewers and mods. Yeah, Linda, I haven't really dealt much with the people from the Dulles Nest. I really can't say much on how they are. they don't have chat on the cam. I do believe they have an FB group, but I don't know where else to reach them. I don't know. I haven't tried, so not sure. But yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, again, people should be allowed to ask questions. We're all here to learn. We're all here to enjoy and be impressed and amazed by these eagles. And the way you learn and the way that you're impressed by what they do is by asking questions and discovering more about each individual nest and the eagles and their histories. When it comes to the whole thing about speculation, that irks me too. I see them regularly in many of the chats. "Oh, do not speculate, do not speculate." That's all any of us are ever doing. If we're chatting about what we witness on these streams, we're speculating. Why did this one do that? Do you think this one's going to do this? What's going to happen next? It's all speculation. So it's kind of silly for them to come out and say, don't speculate. They speculate. We speculate. That's all we're ever doing. It's a learning process. Now, there is definitely a big difference between speculating and just spreading rumors as if you're an authoritative resource, of course. Hi, Joe. Good to see ya. You know, Big Bear, they run things pretty well there. They use Nightbot very smartly. They have a lot of mods who are generally really, really nice. So yeah, no, Big Bear is a good one for information. There are definitely, I'd say maybe like 5 nests that I'm pretty comfortable with if I do need to pop in and ask a question, or if I just want to have some chat. There are definitely some that I'm very comfortable in. The absolute best is Little Miami Conservancy. Jenny is probably the greatest mod that the Eagle community has. I adore her. She's incredibly smart, absolutely in love with those Eagles, and never once have I seen her speak to anyone in any way other than respectful. So yeah, even if you just have general Eagle questions, I always encourage everybody, pop into the Little Miami Conservancy nest. It's a great one to watch, and it is the perfect place to ask your questions and try to gain some knowledge. This little one back here, I just noticed, seems to have some sort of different something happening at the bottom all of a sudden. Not sure what's going on there. I don't know which one. Let's see, maybe that's the way to go for the moment. Another really good one, and they don't have chat on their channel, but for those who are on Facebook, I absolutely beg you, follow the Friends of the Reading Eagles on Facebook. Their page is just the best. They are so great. They share every little detail, so many photos from people on the ground. They are one of the groups that are accepting of compassionate people. When the eaglets were lost last year, Sol and Luna, they were really, really good about rallying together to try to support the viewers. It was really sweet. When the nest fell this year, again, they were right there to inform everybody and calm everybody down. They do a really, really, really good job of keeping people up to date and answering things with honesty and compassion and intelligence. Gary's Eagle videos, he covers a lot from the Reading nest as well and shares additional insight that is really good. So as there's been a lot of things happening at Reading and a lot of changes, he's a good one to keep up with. And yeah, the Friends of the Reading Eagles page on Facebook, I think Terry is the one who usually posts there. That's another fabulous, fabulous resource. I do wish they had chat, though. That's the one thing about Reading. I wish they would add chat to the live cam itself. I think that would be nice, but they may not have the volunteer manpower to run that right. And frankly, I would rather they not do it if they feel they couldn't really run it the way they wanted to. So certainly not gonna pick nits there. Ooh. Let's see. me see if I can get in on something here. Hold on a second. That one there. Wait, is that the right one? Yes. Come to a little point on the bottom that's kind of new. So yeah, that one is shifted pretty good. Put this back out carefully. Whoa. Okay, hello. Bear with me. There we go. Set back up a little bit there. Trying to figure out that second one up top. It has really made some shifts here in the last little bit. Huh. Yeah, that's so funny because the one on the left, that one was so ready earlier. And the one on the right, I just didn't think it looked it. But now the one on the right almost looks more ready. Huh.
I'm here to surprise you.
Yeah, full of surprises, these guys.
I think we landed under the car. I think we landed under the car. You were wondering.
Oh, they absolutely are. Like I said, that was one of the first things I heard from people in the butterfly world is the second that you blink or step away, that's when everything happens. And it's so true. I have been at this stage many times, and it never fails. As soon as I say, okay, I need to step away and go do some things, that's when it happens. So even now, there are things I do need to go get to, and I just know. I just know. So, of course, when I do step away for a moment, I'm going to leave this phone propped up here because maybe if I'm not here, at least the camera will catch it. Or maybe, I don't know, if one of us, like, you know, if we count to 10 and then everybody covers their eyes at the exact same second, I don't know. They're shy. Very long blinks, Linda. Very long blinks. No, I think when they will actually emerge, I've been thinking about this. My phone is now down to like 25% power. So it's not going to be when I walk away. It's going to be when the phone dies. That's when they're going to emerge. So I am stepping away for just a quick couple moments to deal with something. I'm going to leave this running, and hopefully if I miss it, you won't. I'll be back in just a few minutes. Hello, I'm back for a moment, checking in on things here. It's kind of scurry time around my house. It's what we call cat swap time. As I said, I keep my cats kind of differently grouped based on who gets along with whom. So this is the time of day where we switch them from different rooms, move the groups around, so to speak. So it's an interesting life. You know, Joe, I think a couple of the milkweed plants have taken root. We were just looking at them yesterday, and I think 3 of them actually look like they may be trying to come back. So here's hoping. I mean, I'm hoping by springtime all of the milkweed will replenish, because I do have, let's see, I have the tropical milkweed, I have the aquatic, have the giant, and have the butterfly. 4 different types of milkweed, or is it 5? I think it's 5. I don't even remember what I have half the time, but most of them are pretty dead right now, and I think most will be coming back, but there are definitely some I'm keeping an eye on that are kind of questionable. Hi, Waylon. Meow. Hi, Waylon. I'm gonna make your dinner, Waylon boy. I'll be right back. Yeah, he's letting me know it's dinner time, or he wants company. I'm not sure which. You see what I'm saying, though, about this cat? I mean, how do you do this, you know? Hi, buddy. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. We're making a special treat for you. Yeah, when I said that I named him Waylon, my daughter, who's not familiar with Waylon Jennings somehow, she thought I meant wailing. It's like, oh, how appropriate. And I said, well, okay, double meaning. Oh. And now Waylon made his way into the Florida room. Careful. And we're going to try not to let him in the actual house right now, because our one angry, nasty cat is actually running the main part of the house. We have the very first cat we got, we named him Doctor. And he is definitely the territorial, grumpy one, and he likes to be alone. So he pretty much does his own thing, and he doesn't really integrate with the others. And right now is his turn to have run of the main part of the house. And around 10 o'clock at night, we put him in what we call Doctor's office. He has his own room. Can you believe this? So yes, he has a cat room with all sorts of shelves to climb on, and he gets to listen to yacht rock radio on his own little Google speaker. He has a lovely light blue light that is supposed to be subduing. He's got a massage chair. I mean, I'm not joking here. This is the life that this cat lives, all because he has a bad attitude. So go figure that. Yeah, he does have really, really cool color. It's so funny. I keep saying Waylon looks just like one of my other cats, who I call Elvis. The only difference is that Waylon has a little bit more black than Elvis does. So I say, you know, he just got a little bit more of the ink spots. But we actually do believe that Waylon is related to some of our cats. The one that I mentioned that came pregnant, her name is Callie. I had mentioned that there were others dropped off with her that looked the same. And Waylon and another cat that he hangs out with that we call Itty Bitty Kitty, they look just like a couple that we have. And Callie, when she sees them, she gets very, very crazy about it. So I think they were probably offspring from a sibling of Callie's that was dumped with her. So it's very, very weird. I have to wonder if Callie looks outside and sees Waylon and Itty Bitty Kitty and wonders, is that Elvis? Is that spooky? Meow. 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 Do you want to go on YouTube Live? Tell people, say, hey butterfly people, who wants a cat? Who wants the sweetest cat? You're not doing a good job of selling yourself, little man. What are you doing? Do not mess with the butterflies. Meow. You're such a sweet boy. You're such a sweet boy. Hi, baby. You're sweet boy. Hurrah. Hurrah. Hi, sweet boy. Hi, sweet boy. Such a good boy. Cell phone battery power is now at 20%. So here's hoping that if these little guys, one or both of them, are coming out tonight, here's hoping they'll do it soon. And if not, maybe we'll just have to do this all over again tomorrow. Gosh, they're certainly close. This is going to be one of those nights where I'm going to have trouble falling asleep now. I'm going to be coming in and out all night long to check on this. Baby, you're such a sweet boy. You're such a good boy. You're such a good boy. I love you. You're sweet. You are so loved, okay? Don't ever forget it. You are so loved. Yes, you are. Beautiful. Oh gosh, Linda, it really does. I swear, if I thought I could get away with it and didn't have to give so much love to so many other creatures in my house, I'd probably be pitching a tent in the front yard to lay with this guy. When when we brought in Nurse, our second cat, she was too scared to leave the living room. She just wanted to be in that one room and didn't like any other room. So I slept in the living room on the couch with her for 2 weeks until she got comfortable. And then when we had Callie fixed, I was so worried about something happening to her when she was in recovery or someone else messing with her. We kept her, we have one of our bathrooms is very large. We kept her in that bathroom, and I actually stayed in the bathroom with her until she was recovered, leaving every now and then just to go take a quick break somewhere. Whoops. Pardon Waylon, he got up on the table and shook just enough to move the phone, in case you can't see him walking around behind the enclosure there. So, yeah, I would definitely be hanging out with him outside if I thought I could get away with it. Little Waylon, what are you doing? Waylon, do not climb. You know, when I saw him trying to knead the concrete, that's when that hurt my heart. He wants somewhere soft to lay and knead. He's just so doggone precious. Like I said, I know there's a million people out there that would love to have this cat. I don't know them. I wish I could find them. I'll drive him anywhere. If someone contacted me from Alaska and said I want him, I'll take him. But I need to find the right place. Yeah, thank you, Megan. I definitely may have to shut down sooner than later to charge. Hopefully won't miss it. Thankfully do have more. If I do end up missing these, I promise I will get you guys alive at some point to watch one of these. Hoping it'll happen still today. I don't know. Yeah, Waylon definitely wants to go checking things out. He's so curious. I'm gonna end up crying before this is all over, so bear with me. You're a sweet boy. You're such a good boy. You're so good. You're so good. I love you. I love you, sweet baby. Hey, sweet boy. You watching? I don't know. I mean, what kind of cat is just going to sit themselves on a chair and watch butterflies with you, you know? It's a good cat. If anybody is in the market for an amazing cat, let me know. Hey, Green. Say hi. Say, hey, if you want a cat, let my mama know. Mama can't zoom out because mommy's a goof. Hey, Way. Hey, Way. You gonna say hi? You shy. Say hello. Say, I want a home for Catmas. Precious kid there. Precious kid. So yes, absolutely. If you or anyone you know is in the market for a cat, whoa, hey, hello. I'll get down eventually. If you or anyone you know is in the market for a cat, say the word. I've got one. And he couldn't be more perfect. Yeah, my daughter says that she says he looks like Batman because it looks like he has that mask around his eyes. He is a very, very handsome dude. And very proper, I have to say. He doesn't do a lot of the crazy feral things you'll see outdoor cats do. He's just so proper. And by the way, we are taking him to the vet on Thursday too. So he will have his shots. We're not fixing him at that point. It's just going to be a quick visit to get him a checkout and shots. So, yeah, he will definitely have that kind of clean bill of health very soon. He has a knot on his head that I want them to look at. I don't know, of course, how he got injured, but there's a pretty decent knot on his head behind his eye that, I mean, it's not bleeding, it's not an open wound. It doesn't even seem like, really swollen other than right there where there is that injury. So I want them to look at that too. But he seems fine. And he certainly has an appetite. Yeah, that's always the first thing I wonder is about tapeworms, especially with an animal who's been on the street. Between fleas and garbage, there's certainly a chance they could pick that up. And like I said, Kane, once we got him to the vet, we did find out that he had hookworms. Fortunately, all that kind of stuff is easy to deal with and treat, so definitely going to get that looked at. He doesn't seem to eat as ferociously as Kane actually still does, even though Kane no longer has worms and he's perfectly recovered. I've never seen a cat eat like that cat. It's insane. You would think he's never seen food before every single time he eats. And my daughter feeds him well. So, yeah, that cat, I've never seen an appetite like that on a cat, ever. At least I will say Waylon sometimes walks away from the bowl for a second. Kane not only doesn't walk away from the bowl, but he starts trying to figure out how to eat the bowl too. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I keep waiting for Kane to get a little more secure with the fact that no one is coming to take his food. But Yeah, he hasn't gotten there yet. I will say with Waylon here, another sign that he's such a great cat. Earlier when he was eating, I came and actually took the bowl from him to move it to a new area we were putting him in. And I mean, I know it's stupid to go reaching for a bowl while an animal is actively eating out of it. So I'm that kind of an idiot. But yes, I grabbed the bowl to try to take it away and move it. And he didn't even like seem the slightest bit bothered. So go figure that one. Really great temperament on this animal. Yeah, Megan, that's kind of what we're thinking, is that he had just enough struggle when he was out on the street that it's just that difficult for him to get used to. He no longer has to worry about it. And I mean, we don't really know all their stories, of course. We don't know exactly how long they've been there or what kind of fights they may have gotten into in the past, and I'm sure that can stick with them. You don't need to be climbing around back there. That's a bunch of stuff. You're gonna get hurt. Hey, Waylon. Hey, Waylon. You're such a good boy. You are. You're such a good boy. I love you. Well, it looks like I am down to 15% and dropping fast. And the butterflies are not quite progressing at this point. So could be a false alarm. Could it be they're waiting for a little bit later? Either way, come back to you. And I've got Mr. Whalen wanting to check out areas of the Florida room that probably aren't the best. So I'm going to go ahead and shut down and charge up. And then I'm going to take Mr. Whalen outside and sit with him for a few minutes looking at the Christmas lights and probably blubber a little bit about having to leave him out there. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this here, but if I do notice any sort of increased activity once I get my phone charged back up, I will tune back in. And of course, I would love to see anyone live who's interested, but I will save these, so even if you're not here or not able to be around for the whole thing, you can come back and check it out later. And thank you guys so much for those who popped in, those who stuck around. Linda, Megan, it was awesome to have you guys here. I really appreciate it. Joe, Sue, I know not everyone is still here that was earlier, but to whoever is still out there, whether you were chatty or whether you weren't, thank you for stopping by, and check back in soon for updates, because there will be updates on butterflies, on eagles, and yes, on beautiful Waylon. So thank you guys so much, and sorry for the false alarm, but you know what? It was a fun way to spend the day anyway, and I thank you for being a part of it. Talk to you soon. Thanks so much, y'all.